What's happening, people? I'm back with another reaction, back with some more Alan Wilder and Recoil. I've been blown away by the first couple reactions I've done to this, and it made me realize that whatever preconceptions I had about what this material might sound like, it is, it's not only beyond that, but it's vastly different from that. At this point, I'm just along for the ride, and I'm just going to see what sonic avenues and what sonic amalgamations we're going to hear. And again, the first couple of tunes I've heard have, drawn influences from some different genres, brought together some different sounds and like stitched them together into this composite, this like textured composite of different layers. So shout out to this project. Now, a couple of you have mentioned that, you were a little disappointed that this selected release doesn't have stuff from the first couple Recoil albums. That is unfortunate, but perhaps at some point I can go and try to like acquire those albums proper, because believe me, my intrigue is sufficiently piqued, and I would definitely want to hear more, even as we get all through this. And to be fair, there's a whole second CD here with like remixes, so we'll go through both discs. But again, I'm now interested in the Recoil project that eventually I'd like to go beyond this and hear some of the stuff that didn't make the cut. Though again, I do have to point out that this album, as far as I know, was personally chosen by Wilder in terms of like the songs that he wanted to like most represent what the Recoil project has been. So either way, like I said, this is just the beginning of the Recoil journey, so hopefully you're here for it. A few people have commented already. And we're going to listen to Faith Healer. I jumped ahead of this tune to do Jezebel because I had done a Depeche Mode reaction for a tune called Jezebel. Also, someone shouted out that, hey, the best Jezebel tune out there is Sade. Shout out to that. I mentioned in my reply that I hadn't thought about Sade in a while, but that's a cool reference. So we're going to go back now to Faith Healer. As a title, obviously it relates to sort of like traditional, like tribal or otherwise, let's say like not pharmaceutical means of like medical treatment and personal health, sort of like traditional understandings of the use of supernatural ideas and cultural forms as a means to well-being, which like even in a modern scientific sense, we now understand that like not only does the placebo effect cause people, like if they think they're being healed, their body will actually kind of kick into gear and it'll, in ways like heal itself. But above and beyond that, people having a sense of community, people having a sense of like purpose and sort of an emotional grounding and so on. These are all things which can reduce stress levels in your life, which can make you feel more fulfilled and rewarded. And in that context, your physiological health is likely to improve because of a lack of like stress hormones and so on. So again, the idea that a faith healer could find ways to make people feel revitalized and integrated into their community such that their actual physical bodily health improves as well is not unreasonable in any way, shape, or form. So, as an anthropologist and historian, these are the things that come to my mind when I see that concept. We'll have to see how it manifests. Jezebel, I was wondering, if there might be sort of like, religious connotations in some of the themes or whatever, and then it seemed to be like a sampling of an old kind of like rhythm and blues record or something, or at least a vocal done in that style, perhaps recorded anew. Like I said, it felt like it was a sample from like a 1960s like early rock and roll or rhythm and blues record. So again, the term faith healer might not actually relate to like the lyrical themes so much as like one of the elements brought together in the sonic composite. So I'll stop talking and we'll get to it. This is Recoil, Faith Healer, heard here as part of the greatest hits album called Selected. Oh wow. I love that. Almost got an acidy, like, oof. Oh my gosh. Come on. Like, dark electronica. But also with a bit of flair, a bit of brightness leaving the room. Guitar lick. sort of lingering electricity of that, but like twisted, distorted. Comment on these high kind of floating pads. Oh. Yeah, we're talking about a lot of like emotion and so on, like. But it's funny, it's like faith healing, but the atmosphere here is a bit ominous, a bit like. Talk about lust, and it feels like very like unbridled passion. Oh. Get out of here! What? One, it's brilliant. Two. Composition and progression. So is this sampled or is this who's singing? Now these like choral vocals, like it's like Carmina Burana. Again, the faith healer, put my hands on you, you are healed, that kind of thing. Those of you who recommended checking out Recoil, thank you. Oh. That sounds like a guitar ballad or something like. God. That's pretty much the concise description and reaction to that. Wow. Again, so much to comment on. I mean, where do I even start? Yeah, the sort of the electrical sound, like some of the bass at the beginning almost sounded like it might be a 303. It had kind of like an acidy sort of electric feel. I don't know what those vocals are from. Like maybe those are Alan himself, but maybe not, because I know the first couple tracks that I reacted to, there was a whole list of things that they sampled, so maybe that's sampled for something. If you know what it's from, do let me know, or if it actually is Alan, shout that out too. Yeah, like I honestly am so amazed at the like rich and multifarious, sonic palette. It's like whether it's like stuff from different genres or even like remarkably different sections within the same tune. Yeah, this is just like a sonic buffet of different elements, different flavors and tastes. So yeah, brilliant. Again, like lyrically, it felt like there was a lot being discussed there about, let me lay my hands on you, but there was also like, speaking about the lust and the like passion inherent in that. And there were a couple moments where like, the sonics were kind of ominous as it was talking about, let me lay my hands on you and so on. So I wonder if there's a bit of, maybe irony or, sort of a intrigue or sort of lascivious layer to the concept of a faith healer in this context. So yeah, got to listen to it some more, got to pick up on some more of the thematic contours, but let me know what you think of that, like either sonically or lyrically. Again, shout it out if you have specific information about exactly what I'm hearing and exactly who's singing there, and if it is a sample, like where it might come from. But yeah, brilliant. I cannot wait to go through this album now, because it's like the first tune kind of like destroyed what I had like assumed inappropriately about what the Recoil project might sound like. The second tune then took that idea that, oh yeah, now you think you know like what this is gonna sound like. No, it wiped that off the table. So again, now I'm just like on the high seas waiting to see which way the water takes me. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. I can't wait for the next one. The next one will be Alleluia, which again, we've had Jezebel, Faith Healer, Alleluia. It does seem like at least some of the titles are sort of getting at that maybe, religio-cultural nexus in which like emotions and passions can sort of run in different directions or be interpreted in different ways. So, perhaps that's part of like the thematic path that Alan was walking down in terms of like trying to craft atmosphere or even just more simply titles for the songs. So interested in that, but that's the next one that we'll be doing. So hopefully you're here for it. Let me know what you think of this. Other than that, I'll see you next time. Peace.